I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set to continue on the inaugural season of the NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series. Today it's race 14 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway as we've got the Lights and Cup doubleheader here at this D-shaped mile-and-a-half in Hampton, Georgia. Getting ready for what should be a good one here today. It's gotten really interesting for the points lead battle. Really, ever since the All-Star break, it has been Benny Watson versus Eric Monaco, and these two cannot get away from each other. They went into last week's race tied for the points lead. They left with only 1 point separating them. They continue to duke it out for that top position. Benny Watson right now with the 1 point advantage over Eric Monaco. But there's other drivers that would like to get back into that conversation. They want to have a shot at not only the Duracell Ultra Light Series Championship, but they also want to get a guaranteed locked-in chartered ride for next season's Cup Series. And we'll see if maybe somebody can take a step towards that here today. The driver that I'm looking at particularly is the guy who got his first pole of the season. That is John Lightning Jr. John Lightning Jr. comes into this race currently in a tie for third in overall points, 32 points back. Neither Benny Watson nor Eric Monaco have had the best of qualifying efforts here this weekend, so could be an opportunity for John Lightning Jr. to not only pick up his first win of the season, but also put himself into that conversation for the championship. Still a ways to go. After today's race, there will be 6 more races left for these drivers to have to contend with, including the next 2 weeks. They will be double-headering with the Cup drivers. This week Atlanta, next week Bristol Dirt, the following week Auto Club Speedway, and then I think actually they're the following week as well at the first playoff race for the Cup drivers at Gateway. So it's actually 4 straight weeks that we will have the Duracell Light Series drivers on track. Sophia Simon is trying to keep herself mathematically in the hunt for the championship. There's still, including today, 7 races, and she is currently 19th in overall points. But the thing is, she's only 77 points back. Now, the problem with this is, for me and being able to do math in my head, 77 points doesn't seem like much, especially when we use the current NASCAR point system. However, bear in mind, we have about half of the field here in Lights than we do in Cup. So in Cup, when you've got about 40 plus drivers that are taking the green flag, that is about 40 plus points that are on the table. With there being only 21 points on the line basically each week, that means that you've got to calculate in that it's not going to be as quick of a jump up in the point standings if you get a victory in Lights as it would be in Cup. So while 77 points certainly I believe at this point in time is still doable, you're gonna have to get consistent top 5 finishes. I do feel you have 1 or 2 DNFs here down the home stretch. It's going to be very difficult for you to be able to get enough points, even if you end up getting a couple of victories, to be able to get up there into the points lead. Remember, there's no playoffs for the Lights drivers. It is just at the end of the 20 races, whoever has the most points wins the championship. So with there being no playoff system, it is all about, in my opinion, consistency, maybe even more so than it is about checkered flags. But David Dixon, he's got 3 checkered flags after he ended up getting that victory at Stafford last time out. And so he is obviously a driver that people are looking at to get into this championship conversation. He had struggled going into that Stafford race, despite the fact he had previous victories, and he is 9th right now overall in points. He's actually in a 3-way tie for 7th, with Kyle Langland and Roberto Crow Jr. 44 points out. So we'll see if the momentum continues for the driver of the DHL Toyota, another driver that is starting pretty deep in the field. But it's time to go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports as we get ready to go racing at Hotlanta.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Nice citizen, be there at the end. It's a long race. We just got to stay in contention, no mistakes. That's the big key, no mistakes today. We get up there, we get in the top 10, we ride, we ride, we ride. That's what we got to do today.
Right side of your screen, you see the starting lineup for today's event. 49 laps of racing here at the older surface, mile and a half. We were at the new configuration, the repaved speedway / super speedway of Atlanta for the All-Star break. But there were no points on the line in that one. There are points on the line here today and in tomorrow's Cup Series race. Now, from what we saw yesterday during pole day qualifying for the Cup cars, expect, if we go into a long green flag run, to see tire fall off, lap times take a dip very early on in the run. If we end up having where these drivers cannot make it the full 49 laps on what they've got in the tank, pit road strategy could be maybe the key factor into the outcome of today's finish. But here we go. John Lightning Jr. and Sophia Simon, both looking for their first wins on the season, are going to lead us to green here in Atlanta. Benjamin Snyder going to slot into second place after rolling off the grid from third. Given about an extra 20-25 laps last week at Stafford, Snyder might have very well picked up his second win on the season. Had one of the best cars at Stafford, especially on the long run. One of the few drivers that was actually able to make passes. But now he's up on the top side, drifting to the back. Cody Smart, another former winner on the season, moving his way up here into the second spot. And another former winner. It's been a while since Roberto Crow Jr. went to victory lane. He's going to move into second spot. Didn't take long for the points leader Benny Watson to get up here into the top 5. He's going to cross the line in fourth right there, battling for third with Cody Smart. That's this all happening behind John Lightning Jr. Sophia Simon in the middle. That's Nathan Stapleton to her left. Cody Smart was 3 wide up top. Now he tucks back in line. And Watson putting the pressure on John Lightning Jr. for the race lead. Betty Watson, for a good portion of the season, was the only multiple-time winner. Then David Dixon joined as the 2-time winner. Now Dixon has taken the lead in the category of most wins here in Duracell Ultra Light Series competition with 3. Watson sits with 2. He'd like to tie it back up here today. And he is out in front. Can he get the bonus point for the lap led? John Lightning Jr., the pole sitter, got kicked up to the third group, and he's going all the way back. I think he'll be outside of the top 10 here, crossing the line. Watson will get the lap led complete. Nathan Stapleton side by side with Austin Reed for second place. And Eric Monaco tried to keep that 75 in close proximity. Only 1 point separating those two coming into this race. Monaco on the inside of Austin Reed here for third. Stapleton is cleared into second behind Benny Watson. Those two were former teammates in Duracell Cup Series, people will remember. Benny Watson drove the 75, and Nathan Stapleton drove the 79 in a non-charter capacity. That was back in Season 4. Both are different manufacturers here, not teammates anymore. Both have a common goal, but to each one's detriment, and that is to win the championship here this season. Nathan Stapleton, though, comes into this race 20th in points. He is the lowest of the drivers that have taken every green flag here in the previous 13 races, 83 points out of the points lead. So if he's going to get back up into the hunt for this championship with only 7 races, including today, remaining, it's got to start right here, right now, and probably needs to be a checkered flag. Shoot a turn in tomorrow to our Cup Series race here from Atlanta. Not only are we going to have a great race, but a lot of silly season news down this home stretch of the regular season. A lot of moving pieces that could have some bearing potentially on the upcoming playoffs. As third place, Cat Batson on the inside of Eric Monaco. Cat Batson 13th in overall points. Only one top 5 on the season so far. 61 points out of the top spot. Right behind her, Cole Coybe. Colby, the last couple of weeks, has kind of been a bit of a shocker. Early on in the year, it was looking like he was going to be one of the contenders for the championship. Was up in the top 5 for, I believe, the whole first half of the season up to the All-Star break. Since then, really has struggled. Suzuka wasn't good for him. Homestead wasn't good for him. Stafford wasn't good for him last week. Qualified towards the back, never really made his way up towards the front. Coybe comes into this race 12th in overall points now, 54 points out. Cat Batson making her way up to the front. Saw her make that move on Eric Monaco, and she wants more. Gets Coybe for third, now looks for second on Stapleton. I mentioned about the fact that this is an abrasive racetrack, the older surface. You can see the grooves there with the tar, with the pitch, filling in the crack where the different groove separations are. This track has different feelings when you go into the corner. Of one lap it'll be maybe a little tight through the center, the next lap it's loose. Always keeps you on your toes. And so with that being said, you've got to have a good handling race car, number one. Number two, you've got to be able to conserve those tires for the long haul. And we're seeing here drivers that are doing just that, making their way up to the front now, 13 laps in. Madeline Crenshaw right there, our winner from the road course of Suzuka. Now moving into the third spot, Crenshaw was a driver first half of the year that wasn't really in the conversation for the championship, but ever since that victory at Suzuka has really done a great job of moving up into the top 10 in points, now knocking on the door of the top 5, 43 points out, only 6 points out of the top 5, which is 5th place being held right now by Stephen Burnside, who, after a great run last week, jumped up 3 spots in the standings to 5th. How about Jack Mitchell? Jack Mitchell, a former Duracell Cup Series pole sitter from this season, when he qualified into the race at Darlington from the inside of the front row. Right now he's up to 3rd. Jack Mitchell 76 points back, 18th in overall points, actually in a tie for 17th in overall standings, and he'll move into the 2nd spot. So our 2 veterans now into the 1st and 2nd positions as Benny Watson continues to show the way. Mitchell will look to put the pressure on him. Looks to be the 3rd different leader on this race. I'm going to wait and make sure that our scoring actually does update itself correctly. I believe that it has a slight scoring error. It's got a driver leading a lap that I don't think he has actually led, as Watson pulls away from this side-by-side here. The double wide racing side drafting is going to allow the car in the lead to be able to open up a gap. They got to keep themselves single filed out like this. You'll see the gap very quickly close up here on the front straightaway with Crenshaw and now Aaron Macklin moving into the third spot. 3 wide for fourth. Skylar Taylor, 2 top 5s in the first 6 races that he's taken part in. Has been a very competitive driver ever since making his debut back in race 7. Now clear into the 4th spot. Eric Monaco going to move into 5th as he's there with Roberto Crowden Jr. Jack Mitchell got kicked up to the high line and is fading towards the back. One driver has lost the pack entirely, and that is David Dixon. Last time out's winner from Stafford. Not sure what is amiss on the 45. I wondered if maybe he might have gotten up into the wall at some point. I don't see any damage on the right side of his car, but it might have been one of those kind of brushes. And Atlanta is a track where if you get up into the wall, it will hold you, and it will stall your momentum. And maybe that loss of speed is what has caused David Dixon to lose this pack. So he's going to be clamoring for a yellow flag to potentially get back into this thing. That's been the problem for David Dixon, is he's got 3 trips to victory lane this year, but he's also got some really poor finishes. So the poor finishes are kind of canceling out all the points that he gets for his checkered flags. Inconsistency is not going to help you in the point system that we have here for winning the championship, with no playoffs to be able to fall back on. Madeline Crenshaw did put the pressure there for a moment on Benny Watson. Thought we were going to have a lead change, but Watson able to hold her off. That loss of momentum with her having to lift on the inside off the corner has brought Aaron Macklin back to her. And Macklin is going to look for the top position here. I'm sorry, correction, the second position. Going into 1 and 2. It's looking like as we got further into this run and the tire heat is built up, it looks like the second groove has started to come in with some good momentum. Crenshaw tried the inside against Watson, wasn't able to make it stick. And you saw right there, Macklin couldn't make it stick for second place on Crenshaw. So it looks like that outside line now is the more preferred lane, that second groove. Aaron Macklin way up there past the second groove. He's up at about the 2.5 groove, almost touching the 3rd groove. But look at the run he was able to get off of 2 and down the back straightaway. Eric Monaco way up there on the top side now. That would be to look to make a pass on Sophia Simon for 6th. Still side by side between these two. Let's see what happens when they come here through 1 and 2. Can Monaco get the momentum through the center of the corner? He stayed to the right rear of Sophia Simon, and he should get the run here, maybe down the back straightaway. Nope, not quite yet clear. Let's see if he can do anything here through 3 and 4. No, it looks like actually the inside line prevailed. Maybe a little bit of draft came into play there. Sophia Simon with the bubble push from Jack Mitchell. Aaron Macklin now going to drop back into the 5th spot as Skylar Taylor will slot up into 3rd, and Roberto Crowden Jr. will move into 4th. 25 laps into this race, now cross the halfway point. And pit road's going to come into play. Here we go. So right at the halfway mark is when these drivers are going to come to pit road. And I was going to mention the fact that there was about half a second fall off on tires. So now it's the question of, does the undercut end up being the strategy call here? Or you see Jack Mitchell, Nathan Stapleton, Cody Smart, and David Dixon staying out at least one more lap. Is this the play? Because when we were at Suzuka with the Lights cars, you know, we were preaching undercut, undercut, undercut. And it ended up actually being the overcut strategy that worked out for Madeline Crenshaw. So we'll see here. Jack Mitchell's got to be careful here. Looks like he's got a pretty early pit stall there. Won't have to deal with drivers merging out of their pit stalls. Looks like the other drivers there, Cody Smart and Nathan Stapleton, were able to get into their boxes without issue. Same for David Dixon. And Jack Mitchell is down and away. Benny Watson won the battle off of pit road of the drivers that came in the previous lap. Looks like Madeline Crenshaw came out in 2nd. Aaron Macklin third, Skylar Taylor fourth, and Roberto Crown Jr. in fifth. Now the question is, where is Jack Mitchell going to cycle around in all of this? There is Stapleton. Mitchell should be just up ahead trying to get up to speed. Looks like Mitchell might slot in somewhere inside or just outside of the top 5. He is going to have 1 lap fresher tires, though. He's actually going to, looks like, slot into 4th place, just behind Aaron Macklin. Field is going to be more spread out here as well, too. Now, they came to pit road at at least the first group came to pit road at the completion of lap 25. So theoretically, they should be able to make it another 25 laps, which would put them 1 lap to the good. Jack Mitchell, Nathan Stapleton, David Dixon, and Cody Smart should be 2 laps to the good. And with the field as spread out as they are, let's say that they're going to be a half lap short of where their projected is, they all should be able to make it to the checkered flag. But take a look at this now. Madeline Crenshaw, not having to deal with anybody behind her, no side draft, now has Benny Watson in a 1v1 battle. Let's see what she could do with fresh tires here on the inside line as she'll make a move for the top position into 3 and 4. Can she make the pass on her own? She's not going to have anybody behind her to offer that kind of bubble push. She might clear him here before they get to turn 1, and indeed she will. So Madeline Crenshaw is going to go to the top position. So Crenshaw is going to become the 5th different driver to be out in front today. Benny Watson has led the most laps up to this point, 23 circuits from the race lead. 2 laps led for Jack Mitchell right there with that green flag pit stop cycle. John Lightning Jr., the pole sitter, has led 2 laps. Crenshaw just led her 2nd lap of the day, and Roberto Crown Jr. is the other driver that has led so far today. He has led 1 lap here at Atlanta. So now it comes down, I think, to your long-run car. And we saw Madeline Crenshaw had a very good long-run car in the first half of that race, worked her way up to the 2nd spot. Now she's got the clean air on the nose. We'll see if Benny Watson, this is the first time today that he's actually back behind somebody, has not experienced the aero tightness. We'll see if his machine's going to have any momentum to be able to get up there and take the race lead back. Aaron Macklin closing in to make it a 3-car fight for the top position. Macklin looking for his first win on the year. Skylar Taylor right now, along with Jack Mitchell and Nathan Stapleton, they've gotten themselves into a 3-car tandem, and they're closing up here on these top 3. And don't look now, we may end up having more drivers up here battling for this win, because Roberta Crown Jr., Cap Batson, and Eric Monaco are in a 3-car tandem. And it looks like by lap times, they are starting to close in on both the first and second trios. Especially if these drivers get side by side. That's going to stall their momentum out, and that's going to help those single file trains to be able to reel them in. Some drivers, though, not with the best pit stops. They have completely lost touch with the entire rest of the field. Samet Ozkan, Cole Koibe, Kyle Langland, Virgil Alonso, they're about 12 seconds back behind the top drivers. So they need a yellow flag, but I don't think they're going to get one, at least not at the moment. The best chance we had for a caution would have been at the very beginning of the race when they were double and 3 wide, and they were able to give plenty of room. They were racing hard but clean. I think this is going to be a telltale sign of what we can expect to see in tomorrow's Cup Series race as well. Get your car ready and set up for the long run, because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of cautions that'll be flying in tomorrow afternoon's race either. Our long run races have maybe been some of the best races we've had so far this season. Dover was a really fun race. Chicago Motor Speedway was a really fun race. Homestead was a really fun race. I've really liked seeing. We've had some wreck fests here this season in both the Lights and the Cup Series, but we've also had some good green flag long run strategy races as well. Aaron Macklin, he's going for the top position. Edges ahead there through the center of 1 and 2. He's got a fellow Toyota right there behind him in Skylar Taylor, trying to help get him past the Ford Fusion of Madeline Crenshaw, and he will clear for the lead. You saw right there the bubble push through the center of 3 and 4. That momentum clears him out to the top spot, and Aaron Macklin will become the 6th different driver to lead here today. Aaron Macklin comes into this race 17th in overall points, 76 points out of the points lead, looking for his first career win in Duracell Ultralight Series competition. But Crenshaw's not going away quietly, crosses him over on the back straightaway, back to the inside here through 3 and 4. Not clear off of turn 4 here to the line. I believe she led the lap though. And I'm checking to see about that gap back to that third group. Last time by it was 2.7 seconds back to the leader of that trio, Roberta Crowd Jr. This time by 2.6 seconds, so they closed it up by about a tenth, but they're only going to have 10 laps to work with when these drivers come back around here to the start-finish line this time. Of the drivers in this lead group, as we go 3 wide, only 2 are previous winners on the season. Benny Watson, 2 victories. Madeline Crenshaw, 1. Stapleton, Mitchell, Macklin, and Taylor are all looking for their first win on the season. We've had 13 races so far this year. We've had a total of 10 different drivers go to victory lane. Hang on, let me double check on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 different drivers go to victory lane. So that is almost more than half of our drivers that have found a checkered flag here this season, despite the fact we've had a 2-time winner and a 3-time winner. And Skylar Taylor is going to lead here late with 8 laps to go. Nathan Stapleton now fighting with Madeline Crenshaw for second. 3 Toyotas, 2 Fords, and the lone Chevrolet of Jack Mitchell. And I think Roberta Crown Jr., Kat Batson still have a shot at this potentially. Along with Eric Monaco, I think they're going to catch up. Will they have enough time to be able to pass enough cars to get into the top position to win this race? I don't know. Stapleton for the lead. And he'll take it off of 2. Easy pass there for the Powerade Ford Fusion. Skylar Taylor, though, right there, not going to let him get away that easily. Keeps the pressure on his back bumper. Benny Watson moves into the 3rd spot. Macklin and Crenshaw side by side for 4th. That gap continues to close up. Last time by 2.2 seconds. Roberta Crown Jr. to the race leader. I'll not be surprised if it's down to maybe about 2 seconds this time. They just want to get, I think, about 1.5 seconds behind these guys, because then they can catch the draft off the last car in this pack. Skylar Taylor now back to the point. And this time by, they'll see 5 laps to go. Taylor out in front. They're side by side for second. So that'll allow him to open up a bit of a gap right now. Oh, they're side by side back there for the 7th spot. That's not good. Roberta Crowd Jr. and Kat Batson have to get that settled out quickly. That's going to lose them momentum, and that's going to maybe lose them a shot of getting up into this lead group. Macklin clears into 2nd place, but Crenshaw shows the nose going into 1 and 2. Not quite going to get there. Now Aaron Macklin sets his sights on Skylar Taylor. Couple of Toyota Camrys. 1-2 here at Atlanta. They should be able to make it on fuel. We shouldn't have to see anybody dive onto pit road late here. But if they didn't get it full of fuel, that might be a huge problem. Aaron Macklin clears to the lead through 1 and 2. Crenshaw with a nice run there behind him. Shows the nose down the back straightaway. Can she get to his left rear? Nope, not quite. Didn't have the momentum that she needed to be able to get to his inside. Jack Mitchell now. He was riding in the 6th spot there, tail end of this lead pack for a good portion of this run. Now he feels it's go time. He's up the inside, looking for 3rd on Skylar Taylor. He'd love for these two to get side by side, stall out their momentum, maybe make a move for this top position. As single file amongst the top 3, then Stapleton and Taylor side by side for 4th. Watson slotted in the 6th position, and the white flag displayed this time by. Can Aaron Macklin keep them in his rearview mirror for 1.5 miles? Crenshaw backing up a little bit here, trying to see if she can generate a run down the back straightaway. Here she goes, makes the move. What does Mitchell do? Crenshaw couldn't get to the inside. She showed the nose, but she didn't have the run down the back. Erin Macklin gonna try and pinch her down, make sure she can't make a move, and it will work. Erin Macklin is going to become the 11th different winner on the season, his first career win in the Duracell Ultra Lite Series, and a driver who came into this race 17th in points in the category of really needed a win here today to keep himself mathematically in the hunt for this championship with now only 6 races remaining. Gets it done. The Nintendo Toyota Camry is going to go to victory lane here this weekend at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. That is, I believe, the 6th victory on the season for the Toyota manufacturer. And the first driver to do it that is not named, David Dixon and Benny Watson. Great race here today at Atlanta. Cannot wait, based off what we saw here in this one, to see what happens tomorrow in the Cup race. But let's take a look here at the full finishing results that are now official. Erin Macklin picks up his first victory of the season. Madeline Crenshaw going to bring it home in second. This, I do believe, is going to move her up into the top 5 in overall standings. Jack Mitchell going to bring it home on the podium in third. Nathan Stapleton, a great run in fourth. So you look at Erin Macklin, the victory, really important for him. But look at Macklin, Mitchell, and Stapleton. These are drivers that came into this race 17th, 18th, and 20th in points. So the other two didn't get that checkered flag, but they got some good points payout here today. Really what they needed. Skylar Taylor continues to impress in the limited amount of starts he's made this season, brings it home in the top 5. Benny Watson going to bring it home in the 6th position. Ended up leading the most laps here today at 23. Next closest to him was Crenshaw at 11, so easily locked up that bonus point for most laps led, and finished 3 positions ahead of Eric Monaco. So Benny Watson's going to have not a huge points gap, but he'll have a cushion comparatively to what he's had lately over Eric Monaco, if you call about 7-8 points of cushion. Kat Batson going to bring it home in 7th, Roberta Crown Jr. in 8th. I think the problem for those two, you see they finished about 2 seconds behind the lead group. They got side by side for 7th place with about 2 to go. And I think that just killed all their momentum. Otherwise, they may have had a shot of getting up into that lead pack, but the laps and time ran out for them, so I guess they decided to settle amongst themselves for the highest finishing position they could get, which would have been P7. And Eric Monaco is at the tail end of that trio. He'll bring it home in the top 10 in ninth. Still a solid outing for him, but is going to lose ground to the points lead. Austin Reed going to complete the top 10. Sophia Simon started the race from the outside of the front row, brings home in 11th. Benjamin Snyder, after his good run last time out of Stafford, he finishes in 12th. Stephen Burnside, 13th. A decent outing, I guess, for Stephen Burnside, but because Crenshaw had a good run today, Burnside might drop outside of the top 5 in overall points heading into Bristol Dirt. Cody Smart, we saw him up there towards the front in the early stages, but he faded back after pit stops to 14. So the strategy for him and David Dixon to go the extra lap on pit strategy did not work out. It definitely worked out for Nathan Stapleton and who was the other driver that did it? Stapleton and was it Mitchell? I think it was Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell, Stapleton, Dixon, and Smart. So it worked out for 2 of them, didn't work out for the other 2. Nathan Fogler back at 16. John Lightning Jr., after starting from the pole, he fell to the back very early on, never made his way back up to the front, finishes 17th. Sam at Oscon, Kyle Langland. Poor performance for Langland here as he came into this one 7th in overall points, a former winner this season. He'll be glad to go to Bristol next week because he won at Devil's Bowl, the other dirt track on the schedule, and we're going to the dirt-covered surface of Bristol next week. Cole Coybe, again, I mentioned this when he was up at the front, how after the All-Star break, he just has kind of fallen off the face of the earth with his finishes. Another poor showing for him here today. He lost 3 spots in standings after Stafford. He will probably free fall through the points even more after this one. Brings home in 20th, and Virgil Alonso another former winner on the season who really, after his victory at Charlotte, he's now started to taper off on his finishes. He's 16th in overall points, and he is going to finish dead last here today. So maybe pit road kind of came into play, slow pit stop into those drivers finishing where they did, but you need consistency in this series. You cannot rely on checkered flags to get you to the championship here with there not being a playoff system. So 6 races remaining. They've still got time, but something's got to happen for them. But Aaron Macklin gets it done here today, becomes the 11th different race winner on the season. His first career win here in the Duracell Ultra Lite Series. Congratulations to him. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from Atlanta. If you did, be sure to give this a like, subscribe, part of the crew today, and be sure to tune into tomorrow's Cup race here from this historical 1.5-mile D-shaped oval. We have shown you your full official results, and you are now looking at your point standings as a result of today's race. Next week, it's a doubleheader again for the Lights drivers and the Cup drivers, as we will be at Bristol Dirt, the world's dirtiest half mile. Then we've got the Lights drivers concluding the regular season for the Cup drivers at Auto Club, and then they will also be running during the first playoff weekend at Gateway. So we've got the Lights drivers for 3 more weekends in a row. Then they take a little bit of an off week until their next race. But hope to see you guys next week at Bristol. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon for the Cup race here at Atlanta. And until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of SRA TV, Offline Racing at its best.